Hello and welcome to a gameplay for all seasons and today's Hogwarts Legacy video. Today I'm talking about Hogsmeade, which I must say I feel is a really interesting place with lots of stuff going on there that I would say has been underrepresented in past games and actually, dare I say it, in the Harry Potter series itself, because actually there's loads of interesting stuff going on there. We're going to cover some of that in this video. As I always say, if you're interested in Hogwarts Legacy, want to stay up to date with things, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And let's get into this. So what I actually want to talk about with Hogsmeade is effectively 6 things that I am hoping we are able to purchase when we go to Hogsmeade. The first thing that I am very much hoping that we're able to purchase is our wand when we go into Hogsmeade. Lots of people, when you read on the internet and various comments, things like that, are hoping that we can go to Diagon Alley. I would be amazingly surprised, could be wrong of course, but I'd be amazingly surprised if we can find out that we go to Diagon Alley. It almost seems unnecessary because actually Hogsmeade has effectively everything you can need. It even has, and this is relatively common knowledge, but it even has an Ollivanders. And in my view, some of the artwork we've seen before, where there is a student in a shop with an elderly man who looks very much like a wandsmith, they are in a wand shop. That to me has to be the Ollivanders in Hogsmeade. And again, lots of people are saying, well, you're a fifth year, you must have a wand already, but that isn't necessarily true. We don't know if we've practiced magic before, or if we're new to it, or if we even turn up with a wand or it got lost. It's very easy for them to come up for a story of why we need to go in the wand shop. And it is one of the big shops in Hogsmeade, so it seems a bit weird to have the wand shop and not be able to go and buy a wand, and why you go in and buy a second wand when you have another one seems a bit bizarre. So I'm very much hoping that we can go in, we can buy a wand, we can have the whole experience about picking our core and picking the wood and the length and all those things depending on our own preferences, abilities and likes and personalities and all those things. The second thing that I'm very much hoping that we can do in Hogsmeade, and I think this one is probably a bit of a given, is to go in and socialise. I imagine an awful lot of the story and the missions will come out of being in Hogsmeade, talking to people. There are various places where you can have conversations, even all the way back in the late 1800s. So the Hogshead Inn, that was the one which in Harry Potter's time was run by Aberforth Dumbledore. It was obviously a bit dingy and various nefarious characters there. And if you remember, there is a secret entrance to Hogwarts, so that'll obviously be there. You've got the Three Broomsticks Inn, which again has been there a long time. That is the one that's far friendlier and is owned in Harry Potter's time by Madame Rose Murta. There are, of course, other places you can socialise as well. There is a tea shop in Harry Potter's time. That was a tea shop beforehand as well. So again, maybe that is somewhere that you'll go. So there is lots of opportunity for that there. The third thing then that I want to be able to buy are books. Now, there is a bookshop within Hogsmeade which is called Tomes and Scrolls. That was established in 1768, so it is well and truly there by the time that this game is set in the late 1800s. And the reason I want to be able to go and buy books may sound a little bit boring, but the reason I want to go and buy books is if you are going to buy books, that suggests there is going to be quite a heavy emphasis on the classes and the learning and potentially newts and all those good things. And that is personally what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping for quite a complete Hogwarts experience, and to me it's at a school, it's got to have all those things. You're going to be learning interesting things, right? You're not talking about maths and science and French or English, and maybe you love those things, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about magic, and it obviously has to be fun the way you do it. So I'm hoping they really do that. And if they're going to push that point to me, you have to go and buy books, which I think will be a fun way to learn a bit of a fetch quest. I'm not a massive fan of fetch quests. We don't want hundreds of those in the game. We want to make sure there's a lot of variation. But I think that would be a good way to learn the ropes, move around, and just effectively if you get sent to shops and have to buy these sort of things. So the fourth thing that I am very much hoping you are able to buy in Hogsmeade, and this one is a bit of a different one to the previous ones I mentioned, the ones I'm going to go on to, is effectively I'm hoping you can buy your pets there. Now, the reason I say that this is a bit different to others is this is the one item which I think you need for Hogwarts, which you effectively can't obviously buy in the shops that are currently in Hogsmeade, which I think gives a good opportunity to developers of the game, because I think this gives them opportunities to actually put in their own shop, because a lot of the shops you know about aren't just from the Harry Potter books, they're actually from obviously the huge amount of material that's been added around it. So we know of about 17 shops, but actually why can't they put an extra shop that was around in the 1800s? They definitely can. So I hope they do that, and I hope that you're able to buy a large variety of animals. Obviously the toad, the owl and a cat is relatively standard. That's the 3 that the first years have. But then once you get beyond the first year, you can expand and have more. We know obviously other pets that were in the films and the books. I would just take this opportunity to say I really hope that they don't add loads of pets for microtransactions, or in fact have any microtransactions at all, but is an area they could potentially have that, as has been mentioned previously in the comments to some videos. So the fifth one then, and this is potentially one that is just me and absolutely no one else will be interested in, but I don't know why, but I quite want to buy my own quill and pick the colour, and I'm hoping a quill has different abilities. I think it'd be quite fun if that works into education some way. And there is a very famous quill shop, or at least very well established, called Scrivenshaft's Quill Shop within Hogsmeade. I am looking forward, for some reason I can't quite put my finger on, to go into that shop and just picking it, because I think that's a place you can have a lot of fun with that people wouldn't expect and can actually influence your whole experience while you're there, if the developers want to go down that route. And the final thing that I want to mention, and this one is a very well-known shop, which is Honeyduke. So this is a sweet shop that was established many years before the Harry Potter timings and would definitely be there in the late 1800s. I think, again, this shop is a place where you can have a bit of fun with it from developers. You could have different sweets with different abilities that could have some interesting effects and do interesting things. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, like if you did, and I will see you on the next one.